Do we presume that the prosperity of the wicked means they're righteous? Does that sound like a false gospel? Let's begin in Job 21. Are we among those who mock the poor, the homeless, the suffering of the world? But Job answered and said, Hear diligently my speech, and let this be your consolations. Suffer me that I may speak, and after that I've spoken, mock on. As for me, is my complaint to man? And if it were so, why shouldn't my spirit be troubled? Mark me and be astonished, and lay your hand upon your mouth. Even when I remember I'm afraid, and trembling takes hold on my flesh. Is it a fact of life that the wicked are often very powerful, secure, and enjoy grand parties, then suddenly die? Why do the wicked still live, continue on, and become very powerful? Their seed is established with them in their presence, and their offspring before their eyes. Their houses are safe from dread, and the rod of God is not on them. His ox mates and doesn't fail. His cow calves and doesn't miscarry. They send forth their little ones like the flock, and their children skip about. They lift up the tambourine and harp, and are glad at the sound of the pipe. They spend their days in prosperity, and suddenly they go down to Sheol. Do the wicked often avoid knowing God and His way? Yet they say to God, Go away from us. We don't even desire the knowledge of your ways. Who is the Almighty that we should serve Him? And what would we gain if we plead with Him? Behold, their prosperity is not in their hand. The advice of the wicked is far from me. Do we expect the lamp of the wicked to be snuffed out quickly? Or does God have a longer-term view? Yet how often is the lamp of the wicked snuffed out? How often does calamity come upon them, the fate God allots in His anger? How often are they like straw before the wind, like chaff swept away by a gale? It's said, God stores up the punishment of the wicked for their children. Let Him repay the wicked, so that they themselves will experience it. Let their own eyes see their destruction. Let them drink the cup of the wrath of the Almighty. For what do they care about the families they leave behind when their allotted months come to an end? Whether rich or poor, do we all end up in the same condition, alike in the dust? Can anyone teach God knowledge, since He judges those on high? One dies in his full strength, being wholly at ease and secure. His pails are full of milk, and the marrow of his bones is moist. Another man dies in the bitterness of his soul, never having eaten with pleasure. They lie down alike in the dust, and worms cover them. Does Job critique their efforts as lies to prove that his suffering is a result of wickedness? Look, I know what you're thinking. I know the schemes you plot against me. You'll tell me of rich and wicked people whose houses have vanished because of their sins. But ask those who've been around, and they'll tell you the truth. Evil people are spared in times of calamity and are allowed to escape disaster. No one criticizes them openly or pays them back for what they've done. When they're carried to the grave, an honor guard keeps watch at their tomb. A great funeral procession goes to the cemetery. Many pay their respects as the body is laid to rest, and the earth gives sweet repose. How can your empty cliches comfort me? All your explanations are lies. What did Jesus say to those who presume that present suffering is always punishment for sins? Now there were some present at the same time who told him about the Galatians whose blood Pilate had mixed with their sacrifices. Jesus answered them, Do you think that these Galileans were worse sinners than all the other Galileans because they suffered such things? I tell you, no. But unless you repent, you'll all perish in the same way. Or those 18 on whom the tower in Siloam fell and killed them, do you think that they were worse offenders than all the men who dwell in Jerusalem? I tell you no, but unless you repent, you will all perish in the same way. Do we presume that the prosperity of the wicked means they're righteous? Does that sound like a false gospel? You decide.